the complexity of payments these days has become just unbelievably, it's become unbelievably complex. But I think the AI might sort it out. I think so. That's what's going to happen. Like abstract away the complexity and get things to do things autonomously.
I
Simple.
think you're still gonna. Yeah, I think you're still gonna have someone or something needed to orchestrate the whole thing, because the AI is only as good as what we're telling it to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously for now, this is the carcass that AI will ever be.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, I think for now it's going to be about making sure that we tell AI, and or not tell it, but you orchestrate it well enough that it handles certain things.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I think just it's going to be about how well your algorithm is trained on it, or how well your AI is trained, so that it can, I don't know, kind of preempt and know what you're looking at. So, with routing of transactions, for example, I think AI could get very, very helpful there.
Yes.
So, you could say to AI, here's all my connections with all my parameters. Please constantly take into account things like payment response times, payment success. Interesting one to kind of goes, not so much about what we've got now, but around, potentially the shorter term AI for payments.
Yeah. So where do you think it's going to go? How do you think the AI thing is going to be useful in terms of, because I mean, as we were saying, the payments is just so complex, incredible. I just wonder how that could help us make it easier for us and for our merchants.
So I think, AI, there's the two different avenues for AI. The one is, analyzing of data, and picking out of trends and things that you might otherwise not notice.
Yeah.
So being able to look at that and be constantly looking at that, where it requires huge amounts of manpower otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think that's a given. I think everyone knows and wants to throw AI at their data.
Yeah.
But I think one of the big interesting parts of AI and for payments is going to be around routing of transactions. So being able to do least cost routing for transactions.
Yeah.
So if you give your AI a set of mids that you can connect to, and you give it the parameters that, this mid is ZAR, USD, EUR, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And caps or whatever your parameters are, and you tell it to then start monitoring certain things on those in real time. So it must keep track of approval rates, response times, but approvals per country, like declines per country. You can give it a fees table. It can, and then you tell it that you want to optimally route based on, all those parameters, so that you make the most margin either as the operator or charge the least to the merchant. You could tell it those parameters, and using that, it would be able to then pinpoint, okay, now I'm going to route through this bank because the payment's coming from Brazil, and Brazil has a medium success rates, and they use mostly MasterCard, and therefore it's going to go to this mid.
Yeah.
Where currently we'd have to build a complex rule set or a matrix that would do all of that. Now you could start throwing in all these little data elements that, right now would be a nightmare to manage, but it could pick up that there's a slowdown in a certain part of the world with banks because of, I don't know, cable faults or whatever like that, and then it could just automatically switch it and reroute it, but still taking into account all the other things that are continuously happening around it. So I think that's
rates, I guess, like
that's the main, that
would be good for that.
Yeah, and because I mean, that if it's a local card and you're acquiring in country, it's cheaper than acquiring out of the country. So you could start, being smart like that as well. But again, having sane failovers for certain scenarios.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a very, very interesting one. And then tying it in future, I suppose, the segues more into the crypto AI space, or payments and crypto and AI would be like being able to also make decisions around if you're doing a transaction, it might be cheaper to, at some point, depending on your territory, on-ramp it to XRP or on-ramp it to a stable coin, float it across an exchange, and then convert it out, as opposed to paying a
Yeah.
certain percentage at a, for acquiring cross-border.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be being able to throw in all those different things into the mix, and AI can then just make its own decision about what
Yeah.
it thinks is the best thing to do.